I definitely want to hear everybody's opinion tonight because we're gonna be going Karen centric tonight. It's gonna be Karensville up in here. And like you said earlier, you got the Karens and you got the Kens and everything else as well going on too, man. Like it's quite a bit of Karen things going on, man. Like I got about 6 articles. I don't know if I'm gonna read all 6 or touch up on all 6 of them, but yeah, and that just goes to show you how in depth the actual Karen situation is. So without further ado, let me go ahead. We just went live on actual YouTube as well too. Our people on YouTube will start coming in over there. So let me go ahead and touch up on this one article from Black Sports Online. If y'all hadn't been to Black Sports Online, oh Lord, I see Rerod. She over there in YouTube land as well too. So shout out Rerod. See you over there. This is from Black Sports Online. Professor, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. And this article, I believe I put this article up in the Jumbotron, guys. I'm not sure all, like I said, it's a bunch of articles, but I put maybe about 3 of them up there in the Jumbotron. So, pool party Karen ID. Pool party Karen ID does Blair Featherman video of her being racist towards Mexicans at the pool. So this first one we're gonna start. They actually going in on a Mexican family here. A Lakewood family had to spoil the fun at her own family pool party by attacking a Mexican family for also having a bash at the Lakewood pool. According to the woman born who should have been named racist Karen, all Mexicans are low-life trash, so their presence at the public pool offended her and caused her to react in the most humiliating way possible. Racist Karen went into a full-blown rage, insulting the family while insisting that they leave for their country because they didn't belong where she was. Well, as expected, the Mexican family was not disobeying any law by being there. In fact, they paid to have a nice time until racist Karen stepped in, so they didn't leave. Racist Karen was later held by a humiliated family member after she attacked the family, demanded that they stop capturing her animalistic behavior on camera. Police were later called on, and Karen was called to explain why she thought her family shouldn't have a nice time due to her insanity. It's not clear if the clearly civilized Mexican family pressed charges. Details from Daily Mail says this is a bizarre moment. A white woman launched a racial attack on Latino family for having a party at Colorado swimming pool. Video uploaded by a member of the family TikTok shows a woman becoming so irate that she had to be held down by a man from her own party. The Lakewood woman, now identified as Blair Featherman, could be heard complaining about the group while calling them trash and saying they should go back down to Denver, drawing a crowd of several people and eventually police. The woman continued to shout and harass the family in the clip, at one point screaming, "Get the F out." People are now branding the woman a racist Karen after the film incident, which eventually got physical, garnered more than 1 million views in a matter of hours. Cops were called to the scene, but it remains unclear if she was arrested. Yes, it's true. The bikini clad is heard saying in the widely seen clip, visible P by the group's president, "You have a effing Mexican in the pool." At this point, the woman approaches the woman filming before physically accosting her. "You can't do that. You can't just record me," the woman says before hitting the phone out of the hands of the person filming. Before that, an added commentary from the app's voice feature is heard, branding the woman racist Karen, while an accompanied caption asks social media users to help identify her. The spliced footage then jumps to what is presumed to be a few minutes later, with the woman now being held down by a male member of her own party, one of the pool one of the pool sun lounges. At this point, she continues to be reprimanded by the family over their presence. Several proceed to surround and argue with the woman, all while she continues to shout while attempting to confront the now angry group. Amid the commotion, she can still be heard uttering xenophobic statements as such as "Get the F out" and "Go back to Denver." So that's just the first article with the racist Karen that we want to cover real quick. This is a Mexican family that she was going in on right here. So let's go to this other racist Karen. That was from Black Sports Online. Let me go to News One. They have an article. It's titled "I'm White, We Rule." Latest Karen video shows what all Karens think while harassing Black people. These days, social media is always rife with circulating videos of Karens and their gentlemen counterparts harassing Black people who are minding their own business because whatever areas a lot of white people appear to believe that they're in charge of everywhere they go. None of these videos are particularly remarkable because white people performing the act of white peopling is as American as apple pie, baseball, and systematic racism. But every once in a while, there's a needle in that white entitlement haystack that perfectly exemplifies the attitude of Karen. Take this video. that shows a black man trying his absolute hardest to be respectful to a white woman who is fussing about him parking in her driveway while picking up his daughter, while also refusing to move out of his way so that he can leave the driveway, which he politely said he was unaware he was not allowed to park in. You're not supposed to stand and park in somebody's driveway, she said after the first man tried to explain that he was only there for 30 seconds while trying to pick up his daughter. Later, he said he had only been there for 2 minutes, to which Karen explained that she had been parked there for 5 minutes before turning to someone else in the car and asking, "How long have we been here? A couple minutes, right?" Apparently, this Karen can't count. "It's in front of a building. I did not know," the black man tried to explain, while Karen just kept on cutting the fool about how she was supposed to be there and was still blocking him from leaving. Anyway, let's just fast forward to the part where the counterproductive, contrary Karen said that be all the thing that ultimately be the motive of all Caucasian Karens, because it's exactly what they're thinking. They'll never admit. "That's right. I'm white. We rule," she declared. When it comes down to it, all Karens and male Karens alike seem to suffer from the same delusion that they are in charge wherever they are. Essentially, they appear to believe that their whiteness entitles them to rule. Second article, shout out to everybody coming up in here in the space as well too. This is a Karen space tonight, guys. I'm just touching up on some articles about some of the Karens. Shout out to Brooke. I see you over there in the YouTube land. Shout out to all our people in YouTube as well too. This is a recent one. This is also from Black Sports Online. Red bikini Karen goes on racist rant towards 2 black guests at pool. Can your friend swim in the pool in your apartment complex? Well, Red Bikini Karen says no. According to the now viral Karen, people who do not pay rent do not deserve to swim at the complex pool. According to the Red Bikini Karen, her neighbor isn't allowed to bring in his friends, especially black friends, to swim in the apartment complex because she pays $2,000 a month for rent. So when she saw her neighbor Joshua bring in 2 black friends to swim, Red Bikini Karen went into full-blown rage, attacked the young men, and asked them to go back to their Denton neighborhood before threatening to call the police. Joshua was uncomfortable with the incident, of course, and tried to reason with Karen, but she was too far involved in her drama to listen. A bikini-clad white woman has been accused of racism after videos posted online showed her screaming at a neighbor who invited some black friends to swim at their apartment complex pool. The unidentified woman in a red bikini could be seen yelling at her neighbor, whom she identified as Joshua, for inviting his friends over to the pool in Fort Worth, Texas. She argues that the men do not pay the $2,000 rent to live at the apartment complex and use a pool facility, and should get the F out before she threatens to call the police. But the woman could later be seen hitting one of the black men in question. The videos were originally posted to TikTok by user Telly.VS World, a recent high school graduate who appears to be one of the black men the woman was upset about. They have been viewed more than 300,000 times since they were first posted on Monday, but information about the woman and what preceded the altercation remains scarce. In the first video, the heavily tattooed blonde woman could be seen confronting her white male neighbor in blue swim shorts with pineapples on them and blue Crocs. "Are you effing serious? What the F?" she asked the man. Who calls effing disgusting? You can't just let somebody come in and swim," he asked the woman. "You think I pay $2,000 for nothing?" she replies. "Do you want a pool? Go pay $2,000 like I do. That's effing wrong." "No, it's wrong that you think you're going to call the police on people," the neighbor retorts as she begins putting his shirt back on. At that point, the woman threatens to call the leasing officer of the apartment complex, and somebody off screen could be heard telling the black man, "I'm sorry for her." A follow-up video shows her sitting on one of the lounge chairs in the pool complex saying, "This is effing ridiculous, Joshua. I don't effing have to be around this, you know what?" Joshua then replies, "I don't know why you got to be like that," to which the woman says, "They don't live here." "Who cares?" Joshua asks. "I pay a lot of effing money to live here," the red bikini woman hits back. "And are they taking your money?" Joshua asks. "No," she admits, "but I don't want a lot of people splashing that don't pay to live here. F you. F it all." The man and the woman then start talking over each other. The one man could be heard telling the woman, "We're grown ass people." She then tells him to go back to Denton where you belong. Denton, a nearby city, is predominantly white according to the U.S. Census, with just 11.5% of the population identifying as Black or African American. However, its median income is lower than the national average at just 65,168 compared to 71,000. He doesn't pay to live here. He doesn't pay S. He doesn't care. The woman continues. I pay $2,000 to live here. I don't want the MF of people who don't pay shit to live here. Get the F out. One of the Black men then tries to explain that his friend lives here, but the woman continues to insist they get the F out. She continues to deny that she is a crackhead, saying sarcastically, "That's why I can afford to pay $2,000. Get the F out," she repeats before twerking in front of the video of one of the Black men filming the altercation and getting hit. "Get out. I don't live here. I'll call the police right now," though it's unclear if she actually ever made the call. Another Karen goes wild. That's another article. I want to touch up on this one also from Bath and Beyond, I believe it was. We had another Karen that went ballistic at Bath and Beyond as well too. What's up, Nate? I see you over there in YouTube, man. Yeah, it's the Karen space tonight, guys, and we just touching up. And I want our people to also come up here. If you have any Karen stories as well, and you just want to talk about the Karens tonight, this is the space. Also from News One, curated by Newstoter.com. All the articles you're hearing tonight are curated from Newstoter.com. Video shows Karen manager called cops on 2 Black males who spent $600 shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond. A series of videos posted to social media is underscoring the pitfalls of shopping while Black, with apparent racial profiling in full effect at Bed Bath & Beyond location in Ohio. And of course, there was a Karen front and center while starring in the unfortunate footage. Lamar Richards tweeted videos showing his encounter with the manager of the store in Toledo, where he was shopping with his boyfriend, Austin Greer, and they said they spent hundreds of dollars before they had the police called on them for the alleged offense of having too many high-ticket items in the cart. Richards said the manager, a white woman, said she had the right to call the police because she inexplicably suspected that they were shoplifting, even though the 2 men were described as 2 Black guys who had allegedly spent $600. Richard told the Daily Beast that he didn't notice any of the white customers with similar items in their cart being singled out. Like he had said, Richard said he and Greer were shopping, and specifically because everything was 60% off, since the company is closing hundreds of stores after filing bankruptcy in April. I have a John Hopkins t-shirt, and my boyfriend has on a Michigan College Pharmacy t-shirt. Richard tweeted, "We literally just wanted to buy some stuff for our new house, and this is the welcome that we get in this area." Richard said the police arrived. They determined that he and his boyfriend did nothing wrong. So why, and this was a tweet that the dude Richards put out, so why sell high-ticket items if when someone attempts to purchase them, you call the police? The items that were over $200 she took from us and held them behind the counter while we shopped. So what high-ticket items did we have? The manager attempted to white-splain what had happened as being routine, but Richards disputed her claim by asking why Bed Bath & Beyond even sells so-called high-ticket items. If someone attempts to purchase them, you call the police. Richard said he has never felt so humiliated in his life. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump announced Thursday that he had been retained by Richards and his boyfriend. Crump demanded accountability for the apparent display of racial profiling. It is outrageous that this innocent Black couple had biased assumptions made about them by Bed Bath & Beyond employees and were immediately profiled as criminals when they were simply trying to shop for items for their new home. This appears to be an appalling case of shopping while Black, Crump said in a statement emailed to News One. Lamar and Austin deserve the same respect and opportunity to exist without being harassed as anyone else. Lamar has often challenged the odds to earn respect, including when he paved the way for so many by serving as the first Black. Okay, you get the point right here, because now we just going way above what the actual story was about, whatever. So it wasn't about Lamar and his boyfriend being LGBTQ while they was profiled. It was about them being Black. So we get the point on that one there. Let me touch up on another one right here. This is also from News One. The title is Park Ranger Karen Fired After Harassing Black Residents Trying to Fish in His Neighborhood. That good old Karen energy seems to be in full swing this summer, but let's not forget about being a Karen when it comes with consequences. A black TikToker and avid fisherman from Georgia recently took to his page to expose some unjustified harassment by a white woman who had nothing better to do except bother a black man who was just enjoying his day fishing by a lake. The video, which was posted earlier this week, includes on-screen caption that reads "Black man fishing problems." When the video begins, a black man is visibly annoyed at the white woman approaching him from the car. When she reaches a black fisherman, the white woman says hello, and the man politely replies with a hello. This is what they post. He says, "I get harassed," and this is I guess his Twitter handle or his whatever handle. He says, "I get harassed when I go fishing because these privileged people don't think I live in this nice neighborhood. Hashtag racist neighborhood. Hashtag fishing goes wrong. Hashtag I just want to fish. Hashtag old lady harassing me. Hashtag I live in this neighborhood." Not even a second later, Park Ranger Karen activates Karen mode, turning it up to full max. "Are you guys residents here?" the woman asks. "Are we bothering anyone? Are we bothering anyone?" A woman accompanying the black fisherman asks. Karen responds by telling him this lake is for residents only. She also plays a victim, telling the man that she did not permit him to film her and threatens to copy his license plate and forward it to authorities. So y'all hear what I have to go through, right? The black fisherman asked his TikTok audience with a smile on his face. "This is a third person. I'm in my own neighborhood, and a white person came and bothered me while I was fishing." He continues, "She's like, oh no, I'm not giving you permission to film. This is my phone. I can film and do whatever I want. I study the law," he says with a laugh. At this point, embarrassed, a white woman tries to brush a black fisherman off, waving her hand in disagreement before walking way back to her vehicle. "What's your name, by the way? Because of the next meeting, I'm definitely going to mention you," the black man says as she walks away. "Her name is Karen," said the fisherman's friend jokingly. The Karen video went viral on TikTok, garnishing over 3 million views since it was published. Social media immediately jumped into action, and the woman allegedly identified as Tanya Petty. Her employer, Sea Glass Therapy, was also called out by residents, forcing them to terminate their contract with the woman. Sea Glass Therapy is a place of acceptance, healing, and the inclusion of all people, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or background. The company wrote in a statement on Facebook, "We stand against discrimination of all forms. We have terminated our business relationship with the independent contractor Tanya in order to uphold our values and standards. We strive to be a service to the community and do whatever we can to accommodate the needs of it, operating with integrity." You would think enough Karens would have been put on blast by now, but I guess not. Here's a life lesson. If you see a black person at leisure, leave them alone. Or maybe like Tanya, you need to learn the hard way. So what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on, DJ? I know you was over there and you were over there. What's up, Trent? I see you over there also on I see you over there also in the YouTube world as well, too, guys. Those are the articles that we have tonight. I actually think I do have one more article. Let's see if I want to touch up on this. Professor, go ahead. You go ahead and get it started, get the conversation flowing. Because I know I went through quite a few articles. Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Thank you, there, Newstoter. Peace, power, and reparations to the space. Good to see everybody up in here. This is a very good topic. I'm pretty sure everybody has probably some stories they can share. I had a little bit of a Karen saga back here a few weeks ago, right here in the area that I live, where I live at here. I had just came back home from the grocery store, and this Karen just pulled up too around the same time I pulled up, of course. And she's getting out the car, looked like with some grocery sacks. And of course, I had went to the store and had some grocery sacks. And so she's walking up, she's on the sidewalk, and of course, I'm getting out the car, grabbing my grocery bags. And as I'm walking around the back of my car, because I always back my car in, as I'm walking around the back of my car, that she is just standing there, which I didn't quite understand why she stood there, because she had already gotten on the sidewalk, everybody. So she could have just walked on to her destination, but for some reason, she stops right there on the side of that sidewalk, and I'm like, now why is she stopping right there? Because she could have just kept walking. And so I'm walking around my car, the back of my car, and she said, well, which way you going? When she says, hello, how you doing? And I said, well, I'm fine, how you doing? And then she says, which way you going? I said, I'm going to my apartment. That's which way I'm going. That's which way I'm going. I'm going to my apartment. And then I just kept walking. And but see, y'all, why would she even stop right there at that sidewalk and ask me which way I'm going? She could have kept her ass walking, right? See? But see, that's what I'm saying, man. These goddamn folks, it's like they want to know everything that we do. See? I wasn't even studying her, man. I was just trying to get my groceries out the car and get them into the apartment. You know? So this is what we're dealing with in everyday life of Black American, particularly us Black American men. And of course, Black American women, you all have your stories too, but I think we as Black American men, I'm pretty sure we probably have more stories to tell. But now I want to kick it off with my story. So I hope everybody will come up, share their experiences of what they have ran into. I'm glad to see everybody up in here, like Cognitive, my brother Cognitive right there, Sister Reva right there, see brother Robbie right there, Ray Smith up in the house, Sister Trouble up in here, Goddess Michelle, Carlos, and all the rest of you that's up in here, please come up and share your stories with us. I'm gonna land right there.
All right, thank you, Professor. Yeah, man. And then, like I said, there were a bunch of other articles, man, that I could actually pull from the site. All these articles I read tonight, and there's still another article I haven't even touched up on. You had that graduation, and you had a one of the high schoolers came up there and did a quick little dance, and of course, the actual the principal decided not to go ahead and give the kid his actual diploma. Just crazy stuff, man. It's Karen.
Oh,
yeah.
I just saw that one, man, about the I think because the high schoolers, I guess it was 3 of them, right? That did like some little dances, and the principal decided not to give them their diplomas. I think that's the story.
Yeah, it was actually the girl. It was a girl, but yeah, I think you had a couple other stories like that, but I know this one here was with an actual girl, and I think she did a little dance or whatever, a couple of seconds, whatever. It's a celebration. People getting ready to leave and go on. It's an accomplishment in life or whatever. As long as they ain't up there twerking and popping it and dropping it, do a quick little dance and boom, you gone or whatever. It's supposed to be a celebratory moment. I don't see the point, of trying to go ahead and then hey, look, you got the right parents there, because the right parent like, look, you finna hand over this goddamn diploma right here, straight up, like, like you finna hand this diploma over, like, yeah, you ain't finna hold nothing. You finna give up this diploma.
If they did that with my daughter, you know what I do? I'd walk up there and get the diploma out that basket and let her come back up and do her dance and get her diploma.
Yeah, you gonna go ahead and you gonna give my kids a diploma. Like I say, unless they were just outwardly disrespectful with the dance and this and that, a 2-3 second dance or whatever. Nah, I'm gonna tell you straight up, you gonna give us this diploma, all hell gonna break loose up in this auditorium right here. Go ahead and get don't even give the kid a diploma. Give me the goddamn diploma. I'll take it. Since you gonna go ahead and you gonna bogart it, you gonna go ahead and give it up to me. So, and that'll be the end of it. We getting our diploma, we getting up out of here. And don't ever worry about coming back to this high school. Don't worry about no 20th anniversary, high school reunion or whatever. Don't ever step foot back in this crap right here. Period. We threw at this school, and we threw at these administrators here as well too. See my girl Trouble up here. And I hope y'all enjoyed the little stories, like I said, that we were spitting, like I say. And trust me, there are thousands every day. There's a Karen story every day. I shouldn't say a Karen story. Every day there are hundreds of Karen stories, hundreds, if not thousands. Go ahead, Trouble. You got it. What's going on tonight?
Hey, Toter, DJ Professor, whole
What's up now?
What's up? What's up now?
chilling. I don't necessarily have no Karen stories because I don't have them type of issues. I got, I got that face and that vibe that say fuck around and find out if you want.
Wait a minute, that trouble now. Look, that Karen that did that to me, she was trying to get on my job. That's why she stopped right there at that curve.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
She smelled that you like some freaky sneaky in your life, Professor. She smelled the tether vibes coming off of you, like that washed, uncooked, unseasoned nausea. You know what I mean? She felt that you would take it. You know what I mean? But I don't have them problems because I think it's my vibe. I'm generally customer service friendly when I step out, so I've been working over the years on mean mugging, as people always say when they see me smile. So, I've learned how to smile, but I also got that look that say, you really don't want to fuck around and find out, especially when I'm around a bunch of white folks. I just don't have that face, and I don't have the space of mind, I don't have the mindset to pull out my phone and record you. If I pull out my phone, I'm probably about to bust you upside the head with it. So, I don't know. I think to a certain degree, these Karens be knowing who to mess with, or they'll at least try it. And until we start getting into a comfortable position to put them in their place automatically, we're going to continue to see stories like this. I'm a firm believer in whoop that ass. I mean, I'm not a meek person necessarily like that. I can honestly say, and I ain't afraid to say it, I believe in violence. I mean, I believe by any means necessary. So I'm not a peaceful person in that manner. I think it's funny, and when you were talking about, and I can't wait to hear anybody else's stories that y'all may have, but it's tragic. But it's funny on one end, but it's not funny on another end because white people love to police black bodies. And they feel like they have the authority over us to be able to have the audacity to even question why we are where we're at, as if we don't have the right to be, as if we still have an overseer over us. And I think mentally that's why I feel the way that I do. You're not gonna question me. I don't. You don't have the authority over me. I'm upset in my mind, thinking about you even having the audacity to look at me like I don't have the right to be where I am, because I believe wherever I am is where I'm supposed to be. So I want one of them to try me that way. I mean, I want you to try me that way. I'll be the last person to ever try again. But as far as the young sister going up on the stage, man, I wholeheartedly agree. Let my babies would have walked to the stage and did a little jig, and you try to hold back their diploma after they done went their whole 12 years and worked to get to where they at. Oh, hell no, we gonna shut it all the way down. You gonna give up that diploma, and you gonna give it right now. We not moving forward with the next person until you hand that diploma over, point blank, period. So when it comes to these Karen situations, there's a lot of Karens. I don't know if you had mentioned it already, but there was that video yesterday where the brother was inside. I think it was what was that? Like a coffee shop, one of those Starbucks coffee shop, and he had on the red MAGA hat, and the white boy rolled up to him all extra slow and was questioning him about the hat he had on and trying to tell him to take his hat off, and then he eventually slapped the hat off of his head. Yo, that couldn't have been me. First of all, you're not getting ready to roll up on me that way, in that manner. I see you coming, you rolling up on me, and you talking that yak, you get ready to get yak just that fast, straight up. You're not even getting ready to get close enough. Yeah, but don't get my new water hose, though. Get the other water hose. And bring it back. Sorry. Yeah. I was looking at that and I was like, we got to start doing something different if we expect different results. But Karenism also shows up in the form of, I just got through watching this video where the black woman went inside the bank and she had a $24,000 check from the Department of Treasury for her disability. And she took it into Bank of America, and Bank of America decided to hold her check for 50 days. Matter of fact, after she put her bank in the account, The next day, they closed her account down and wouldn't give her any information on it. She had to literally go do a federal lawsuit and get the news people involved in order for them to give her back her check, because they didn't believe, they thought it was fraud. And the question and the answers that they gave her as far as why they took her money was because they felt like when there's a large check of that amount, or depending on the customer, it could be a drug transaction. Well, how is that a drug transaction when the check is coming from the Treasury Department? So not only do we have to deal with these Karens that are just normal, everyday beings, but we also have to deal with the Karens within these institutions, whether it's the school system, the banking system, the grocery store, the restaurant owners. We have to deal with so much. But I must insist, we got to, dealing with the banking system, that's a whole different situation. You can't go in there and beat everybody up and, throw your gun up in the air. But, that's a whole other situation. But that just takes Karenism to a whole new level. That's a whole new level of Karenism, and there are levels of it. So I just wanted to bring that to light. But thanks, Soda, for allowing me to speak with my long-winded ass. And y'all be blessed.
Thank you, Trouble. And definitely, if you got anything else to say, let me know, Trouble, too. Because, we want to get people up and we want to hear what y'all got to say. Because let's not act brand new, y'all. Y'all know it's not a shortage of Karens out here in the world. We should definitely not have a shortage of speakers tonight. Nobody should act brand new like they never heard of what a Karen. These Karens took off, and this when the pandemic hit, the things with the Karens really hit the fan. It really got ridiculous up here. And to Trouble's point, what she's saying is that it seems like they're more so targeting black men. Like they coming at the black men. Like they feel like, black men are pretty much got your back against the wall, and that a black man really ain't gonna do nothing. They kind of stay clear of black women with a lot of this nonsense right here, because they know these sisters won't hesitate to drag them. They know a black man, and they know an environment you're in today and stuff like that you got to be careful. So they like, hey, let me go ahead and try to sit up here and put chastise this grown black man and put him in his place and let him know that, hey, I'm Miss Ann on the plantation still, and you got to go ahead and you got to do as I tell you, whatever. But women in my family and ones I grew up with, like they don't play that with. Like they not gonna come at a woman like that. And like I say, and Trouble's right. They can certain women you can just pick that vibe up like, well, nah, she ain't the one to really sit up here and go with. And when you have had Karens go sideways, things have gone sideways as well too. So it seemed like they really trying to kind of put black men in their place. The dude at the Starbucks that let your old boy come up here and start talking to him stupid and then knock his hat off, hey, that's different. As a man, you should first off, when he started coming with that tone and whatnot, you supposed to check him right up in there like, what damn business of it is yours what I'm wearing? You got a problem with it? But the fact that he sat up there and he entertained it, old boy thought he was afraid of him, and he went up there, and the fact that he knocked his hat off his head, that says a lot right there. So like they know certain cats to come up here and try that with, and certain cats not to. But like I say, really these Karens, they're constantly sitting up here in the threat of, hey, I'll call the police on you and this and that, whatever. They sitting there to black men because they feel like the police are the kryptonite for black men. So let me go ahead and pretty much run you down. And then if it's not going that way, let me go ahead and let you know that the threat of me calling the police on you, that's really going to petrify you. So a lot of black men freeze up and stuff like that as well too. But with the women, the black women not even trying to hear that for most part. Now that's not to say every black one, but too many of them ain't gonna hear all of that. Like, look, you ain't finna come up here with all this talking stupid like that. So let me go ahead. We got some hands up in the room as well too. I see Carlos up here. I see Black Pressure up here. Like I said, I want to go ahead and get some of our people up here tonight, man. And I thought this would be a space that we definitely need to go ahead, because every other day it seemed like, or every day, there's a Karen up in the news. I mean, it escalated during the pandemic, but it hasn't gone away. It hasn't decreased at all. It's just not, everybody's not reporting because of the actual pandemic. The Karen thing just became a regular thing. It was like during the pandemic, it was a phenomenon. And if you truly know white women, it was never a phenomenon. This was always the case. It started getting recorded more, and people started actually putting a name behind it, giving her the name Karen and everything like that. So it's always been the threat of what white women say in this country goes when you're a black man, especially. Like, because at one time, it damn calling the police, they getting ready to get the lynch mob on you. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, we can't lynch you publicly like we used to, but we still got our lynch mob, except, they're wearing a different type of uniform today. So let us go ahead and still put you in your place, Negro. So yeah, shout out to Trouble for definitely going ahead and letting that energy be known as well too. Viral, I know you was up here and you was saying something. Did you want to say? Are you trying to speak? Because I know you kind of said something before Trouble actually went in. Did you want to say something or?
Yeah, man, it's these currents been in history for the longest. What was the one? Carolyn Bryan. It's just been a string of them all through history, bro. It ain't nothing new. It's just we seeing more of it because everybody got these cameras and everybody filming it. But I don't really have problems like that, man. It's not. I don't know what it is, but I just really don't run into them like that. And if I did, I just know to get away from them because that's all trouble right there. Yeah, it's certain ways to deal with it. I know I've heard about situations like Professor, and I've actually, I would see somebody, how they used to lock their doors when they see you walking by. I get that, but not a white woman confront me about something. I just don't have that. I don't know, maybe it's the area I'm living in is predominantly black, but yeah, I don't run into too many Karens. I know they out there. I know what they are.
Let me say this.
I wanted to say something about this graduation. He was talking about Newstoter, how they not wanting to give these kids to them their diplomas. That's what I really want to speak on. That's just some hateful stuff right there, man. These kids are happy. They graduate. They finish something. Let them celebrate that moment. What harm is it doing by them doing a little dance when they coming to get that diploma? That's all I want.
Power drip, man. I was thinking about something when you said that, right? Some of these Karens, man, and I'm just gonna be honest, man, because I always speak truth up in the space. Now, I'm gonna come 100 with it, okay? Like Trouble, me and Trouble, we come with 100 shit, okay? That is, some of these Karens be trying to flirt too. Now, they be trying to throw that coochie at you. So they be trying to do the little secretive flirt type shit. So you gotta watch out for that too. They will do that little shit too. Cause these older, especially these older women, they be wanting some young hung thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna land right there.
And some of these Karens just want to sit up here and just try to bitch men as well too up here with some of this stuff that they're trying to go ahead and act like I said, you still on that plantation and you got to go ahead and put your head down and yes, sir, Miss Ann, whatever you say, Miss Ann, I get up out of here as quick as I can, Miss Ann. Don't make eye contact or whatever. So yeah, that some of them just trying to do that as well too. But let me go ahead and y'all make sure y'all tweet this space out as well too, guys. Make sure y'all tweet it out. And like I said, we definitely we got Trouble up here. We heard from one sister, but we definitely want to hear from some other sisters tonight as well too. Shout out to Trouble. Trouble's never shy to come up here and speak it as well too. So sometimes Trouble's the first. A lot of times Trouble be actually the first sister to actually come up here and actually voice her opinion as well too. So that's one thing I really 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 dig about Trouble as well too. Like when we try to get some other sisters up here, Trouble will come up here and she'll kind of set it off and whatnot. So I definitely appreciate that as well too. But we definitely want to hear what some of the sisters got to say about this as well too, because we know mainly it's rare that at men and black men more than likely, but there are a lot of Karens that get slick with black women. Like I say, a lot of times we're seeing it's not ending well when it goes the black woman route. Like, hey, they actually better serve actually messing with the black man because the black women like, hey, well, I ain't a man and ain't nothing. I agrees you. Like it ain't no stigma about women going at it. So with that, the man and woman, that's one thing. But look, I'm a female just like you. So watch how you talk and watch how you come at me. So it's a big difference. Let me go ahead and get to Carlos. Carlos, what's going on tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Newstoter, Professor? Peace out to the room. I just wanted to share a little story. Excuse me for right? I'm gonna say this off the bat. Excuse me for the language, because there's some cursing in this little story here. But I had an encounter. I was 17. This was in the early '90s, and I was a senior in high school. I played football and everything, and I had a summer job. I was going through my little thugged out phase. I had locks and gold teeth and everything, and I just left practice and went to my job and picked up my check and cashed it. And I was getting some shoes for school, and it was when the Bo Jacksons and the Space Jam Jordans had first dropped and everything. So I was buying them, and I'm at the counter ringing up my shoes. And, because I was at practice and everything, my mom and dad had bought me a pager. So my pager goes off, and the lady is telling me the total. So first she said to me, well, which pair do you want? I said, I want them both. And she was like, oh. So, at that time, buying a $100 pair of shoes, and let alone $200 pair of shoes, that was just drug dealers if you was young and black or whatever. So they'd say. But, so I said, I want them both. And she rings it up, and my pager goes off, and it's my mom asking me where I was at. So I look at my pager, and she says, I wonder what we do for a living. I said, I didn't pick your fucking occupation. Just ring up my shit and give me my shoes. So she gives me my shoes and everything. I'm walking in the mall, going to the payphone to call my mom back. As I'm walking, I see mall security headed towards me. And he walks up to me and was like, sir, I need you to come with me back to the store. I was like, for what? And she was like, you ran out the store with some shoes. And I'm looking at him like he got two heads or something. I'm looking at him like he's crazy. Like, what are you talking about? And so, long story short, I was like, well, if I stole these shoes, how the hell I get a receipt for them? And he said, oh, you have a receipt. So he looks at my receipt and looks at the shoes and was like, sir, have a nice day. I'm sorry to even bother you. But these Karens have been around, like they said, for a long time. And that was before they were Karens. That was in the early 90s. So I'm going to just land there. I just wanted to share that real quick.
That's a nice story too, Carlos.
The only thing she could do for me is point out to a sister. That's the only thing she could have done for me.
Hey, Carlo, hey, brother, I ain't gonna lie. Those right there, I just tell them to get ahead in life. Those ones I did like that back in the day.
Appreciate that, Carlos. Thank you for coming up, sharing that story as well, too. And like you said, Carlos, it's always been the case. Now she's gonna sit up here and lie and say that you stole. This is how dumb she was. Now she's gonna sit up here and say that you ran up out of there and you got the receipt in your hand as well, too. She should have been fired for even coming up with some garbage like that. They should have went ahead and the actual security dude should have went ahead and told the actual the actual owner of that actual store that you was in that hated this woman set up here and lied and tried to get this dude arrested here today. You need to go ahead and discipline her like that. That's not something that's rare either. And like you said, in the 90s, people like, I don't know, sometimes people forget how racist the 90s was. Like the 90s was hella racist. You just think if you would have had social media back in the 90s and you'd have had cell phones with the ability to go ahead and videotape and take pictures and everything else, like in the internet, people forget how racist the actual 90s was. The 90s was a very race sensitive era. People forget about that. People try to make it like the 90s. Things are so bad now racially. Like, no, man, things was bad as hell in the 80s and the 90s as well as too, man. Stop with the nonsense here. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, what's up? Go ahead and unmute your mic. What's going on, Pressure?
Hey, what's up, Black fam? Everybody in the room. Hey, I want to tell the brother Carlos, I love him and hate him at the same time, because when he reminded me of my age when he started talking about the Bo Jacksons and those Jordans, I know exactly what year you graduated in 1993 because I was in the 8th grade when both those pair of shoes came out. I remember that shit like it was yesterday, and I'm 44 years old. So shout out to the brother, man, for reminding me how old I am. And also, two news, one correction, and I know I'm showing my age here. God damn, you making me show my age, bro. Actually, I was on social media in the 90s, if you remember.
You talking about the AOL shit?
In the Yahoo chat, I was on that in like 97, 90. That was before the internet had the ability to exchange imagery, but you still, I was on social media, but I was a fucking snot-nosed kid. But I was 18 when I first got on that, and I actually met some girls from like face to face. Like I say, before you can exchange imagery, you just have to describe yourself. I actually met a girl that I'm still friends with to this day. Showing my age over 20 years ago. But anyway, I have a Karen story, and it didn't even involve me. It involved my mother. So my mother lives predominantly white neighborhood, right? So my mother, she's 64, but she still thinks she's 18. So she has a SUV, and she told me she was leaving one day, gonna back out of her garage. So she had a flat tire. She has a Tahoe. So she's like, I just, was, gonna back the truck out and change put the spare on myself. I was like, Mama, why you didn't call me? She's like, ain't nothing, I could do that. But anyway, what ended up happening, the couple across the street, the husband saw her attempting to change the tire. And he ran out. He was like, no, let me get that for you. Don't do that. Let me get a real nice guy, Hispanic guy, but he's married to an Asian woman, right? So he was, in my mother's yard changing the tire. Then the wife walked over because my mother was standing in the proximity watching him change the tire. The wife walked over and began to speak to my mother. They started, just exchanging pleasantries. So my mother told me she told her how she had been real fatigued lately because of the hours that she worked, right? And she was like, yeah, I'm on a 12-hour shift, right? And she said she's been working like 5 12s or something like that. So automatically my mother, saw a female and heard her schedule. And my mom said, oh, are you a nurse? Because my mom said the first thing I thought when she heard that schedule is a medical professional, right? So take this an Asian woman, and the Asian woman, now what pissed me off, the Asian woman looked at her and said, no. He said, why are you asking me that? Because I'm Asian? And to see what happened was the reason that pissed me off, my mother is 64 years old, right? It's not young anymore. And for a much younger woman to get an attitude with her, in my mind, I'm thinking, may put my mom in an uncomfortable position. And my mom's really polite. She's the civil rights generation. Really, oh no, I'm sorry if I offended you. No, I didn't mean it like that. But when my mom told me the story, I said, I was furious because I just really thought that was out of line. And I said, she really told you that? She said, because I'm Asian? She said, yeah. I said, man, Mama, I'd ask that bitch if she taught Kung Fu. Straight up. That's really, really what the position that put me in is that a woman in her 30s gonna jump fly with a woman in her 60s. I'm like, why? Because I'm Asian? So that's one of my Karen stories. I have many, but I'll mute up and listen.
All right. Thank you, Precious. Yeah, that was kind of odd. Like, nobody thinks about Asian women as being nurses when we first think about Asian women. So that's
what the same thing I'm saying. Like, who gives? I've done that before to men and women. People say, yeah, man, I'm working this type of schedule. And I say, oh, you work at a refinery? And people, oh, yeah, how'd you know? Well, shit, I work the same schedule. So, I work 7 12s, and I work 5 10s, and I work 13 10s. Like, that's the schedule I'm working now, working 13 days in a row, 1 day off. So when you hear schedules, you just associate it with occupations.
Real talk. Appreciate that, Pressure. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Rella, what's going on tonight? You there, Rella?
I'm sorry. I was just getting a phone call from one of my beloved family members. Hey, Newstoter, Professor. Hey, everybody in the room.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, you snuck up in. I didn't see your ass coming over here.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
What's up, baby?
Hey, baby, how you doing? Hey,
I'm so good. You missed my story earlier.
Oh, dang. I had to catch the replay so I can hear it because I know it was wild.
You don't want to hear no freak shit, bro. You ain't want to hear it.
Oh, Lord, okay. So Karen's face, Karen's gone wild. I was waiting for this face because, man, these people are out of control.
Rella, you didn't hear any of those articles I read about the Karens either?
No, I had just came in.
Oh.
I was
Yeah, I read like 5 articles about these chicks tonight.
Man, look, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to catch the replay. But you know, I be a little busy, and it seems like the closer to summer, I thought it was gonna kind of like let up, but it hasn't. But I want to say that Karen's often, you know, champion the same stuff that we are going through when it comes to even how their children behave. So when you look at or listen to how their men behave, I believe it's because they've been raised by these Karens. They're women who, you know, like the Mothers of Liberty, or people who practice a certain behavior, but they only tend to do it when they are challenged with people that they don't like. So they'll try to say, well, Karen is a derogatory term, but to me, Karen fits because the women who are acting wild, they have certain behaviors, cultural behaviors. They talk a certain way, but they always seem to know all the slurs. They always seem to know how to hit all the buttons, and they try to use that Jedi mind trick as if they're not doing anything. And try to play the victim. Like, how? That is some mastery shit. You can play the victim. Excuse my language. You can play the victim, and you can be the villain at the same time. I mean, that is literally what you see them doing. And I used to think my mom, it's so crazy to hear Black Pressure's story about his mom, because I used to hear my mom go off in the stores, and I thought, oh God, my mom she just every little thing setting her off, but it wasn't. It was how she knew when she heard someone talking, they was being slick out the mouth, and she knew where they was coming from. And that's what seasoned. That's why I love the elderly women and elderly men, because they peep game off jump. They just listen to you in how you formulate your words and the things that you're saying, and know that this is not going right. And they'll pick up stuff right away. And my mom used to do that with the quickness. And she would start off like with this, like, she would be so like nice with it. I always say, when I hear my mom using her like her real bougie voice, my mom was like her real bougie voice, I knew the hood was coming next. That was just off that was pretty much the cue. And that's literally what happened. And she'd be like, so I'm sorry, what did you say? Like, you know, when you get to that point, it's about to be a wrap. And I already knew it was because she heard a certain trigger word or something that was said, and it would always be coming from Karens. And I think now that we recognize what they are today, I realize what it was my mom was really dealing with, or people, I think, in the older generation, when you had people walk up to you and just start some lies. Like, I think that case that happened in Bed Bath & Beyond with those Black folks. Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, we read that one too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And the manager, and then she lied, and then now the video has come out with the woman on the video telling the police officer how she was describing the folks, knowing that they had bought their purchase. But she on the on the recording saying, they're Black, and one is she was able to describe these people to the T, but she was trying to describe them in a threatening way. And the police was like, well, do they have a weapon? Not that I can see. No. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like they're able to paint these narratives of us while being the victim and the villain at the same damn time. And their men, who I call Kens, do the same thing. Do the same exact thing. I just finished my application and got approved for my business to get be able to accept payments through QuickBooks, and you have to go through this approval process. The guy calls me and gonna ask me. He says, "So, do you sell drugs?" I says, "What? Do I what?" And he goes, "I said, what? I said, what kind of questionnaire is this?" So he was like, "No, we have to ask these things because, there's policies." I said, "Well, I need you to show me where this policy is at." And this is how they're attacking us in different ways, and they try to play that game. My application was, I think, approved because of the fact that I called him out on that BS. But that's how they do it.
Hey, Rilla, and this too, real quick. If you did sell dope, who's gonna say, "Yeah, I sell dope"? You got it.
Right. And I told him, I said, "Well, I need to see where that's in your policy. Does it actually say you need to know we don't accept dope? We don't accept you can't use this service if you a drug dealer." What the fuck? I couldn't believe it. So I'm kind of sitting on that to see whether or not I want to make a big deal with Intuit and QuickBooks, because I had so much other stuff that I was dealing with to even pick that up and run down the street with it, because the shit gets tiring. It gets tiring, and when we say these things, people think, folks be just speaking out of their ass, and like, no, these are experiences that people are going through in real life. These are people that we're dealing with in real life, playing the Jedi mind trick just to get you either unalived or accosted by the police, or somehow just to get a rise. Like, I feel like there's some sort of, it's like some sort of parasite. Like, they thrive off of creating that atmosphere of harm towards you, and they use it with their words.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Thank you. Real quick, guys, up in the Jumbotron, we have the Newstoter YouTube channel up in the actual Jumbotron. That is a second on the left-hand side. If you have not already subscribed to the actual YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. You can do that while the space is going on. Also, for all my people that's on YouTube, make sure you guys go ahead and share, like, and comment on the actual broadcast tonight. Make sure you go ahead and you share that on your Facebook, Twitter, and everything else, guys. Make sure you share the broadcast. Also, for those that can support us, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If anybody has $1, just $1 that you want to contribute to tonight's program and to the actual platform, that is newstoter.com, please, it would be greatly appreciated. If you do not have Cash App, the Venmo and PayPal is in the Jumbotron. For everybody on YouTube that may want to make a donation, you can find those links in the actual description as well too. Once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Also, for those on Twitter that would like to support us as a membership, subscription is $3 a month. $3 a month. You can go to the actual Newstoter profile page and click subscribe. It's just $3 a month to support us on Twitter. Just $3 a month to support us on Twitter. So any donations or any contributions tonight would be greatly appreciated. Thank everybody who has supported. We always appreciate that. And I like to give people a shout out, but some of our people say, "Hey, I don't want to have a shout out," so I can understand that as well too. Shout out to Miss Rewrite as always. Thank you, sister, for your contribution. Trouble, I'm gonna get to you. I want to go ahead and touch up on this actual the one about the diploma with the girl real quick. Let me touch up on that really quick, guys, and then I want you all to go ahead and go in on this as well too. So let me read that real quick, and then Trouble, I got you. This is from News One. It says, "Diploma Karen video shows Philadelphia principal denying degree to Black grad for dancing across stage." Like I said, this is a curator of Newstoter.com platform, and it's up in the Jumbotron as well too. All the articles y'all hear tonight came directly off of Newstoter. Like I say, we had a bunch of damn Karen articles that we could actually share tonight. So I went ahead and I think this will be either the 5th or 6th article tonight. So shout out to Newstoter once again putting out the content. I've never really understood why so many melanin deficient school administrators seem to like their high school. Let me read the title again. Diploma Karen video shows Philadelphia principal denying degree to black grad for dancing across stage. I've never really understood why so many melon deficient school administrators seem to like their high school graduations to be as seasonless as their food. I mean, I get that family members can go overboard while cheering for their graduate as they cross the stage, and everyone deserves to hear their loved one's name read aloud without being drowned out by folks who are doing too much. But with all the overcorrecting of the issue, why tell audience members and graduates alike they can't show the least bit of flair during a moment high school graduates only get once in their lives? Why should parents and siblings of graduates have to stay completely silent during that moment? Folks can't get away with a brief shout. We can't put on for our people, even in the most moderate, non disruptive ways. We can't even dance a little. Apparently, the answer to all those questions is no if you ask the principal at the Philadelphia High School for Girls, who denied a graduating student, 17-year-old Hafshar Abdul Ramad, the honor of receiving her diploma on stage because Robin committed the egregious offense of checking notes, of check notes, dancing for about 3 seconds as she walked across the stage and making people laugh a little. This young woman, Hafsar Abdul Rahman, was denied her high school diploma for dancing on stage. Philadelphia High School for Girls should be ashamed of themselves. They humiliated this young woman for nothing. This was said by Mark Lamont Hill, of all people, on June 16th, 2023. She, the principal, stole the moment from me, said, Rockman, I will never get that again. Rockman cried tears of humiliation instead of joy at her high school graduation on June 9th. The 17-year-old from Philadelphia said the principal warned students their families could not cheer or clap when they walked on stage. I understood the rules because I was saying shh in the video. Do not say nothing because I want my diploma, said Rockman. I knew and understood what we were supposed to do. She said because they laughed, the principal told her she could not receive her diploma. If they thought that I shouldn't do the giddy across the stage and do the girl high traditions, nobody should have been able to wave or blow kisses or do period signs because I feel like that's the same thing. I feel like that's unfair, said Rotman. Rotman said the moment wasn't just for her, but it was in honor of her sister who was killed at 14 years old. I was so embarrassed I couldn't even enjoy the rest of the graduation, said Rotman. She's not alone. Rotman said 3 other girls did not get their diplomas on stage, but all of them did after the ceremony. So can we expect that the rules of rules crowd is going to defend Diploma Karen for doing her job, which apparently includes ensuring that all graduation ceremonies at the school are the flavor equivalent of mayo on white bread? But there's no reason to be such a stickler to even the most arbitrary standards of decorum that you refuse to hand a student their diploma just for visibly enjoying themselves for the briefest of not even remotely disruptive moments. It's 2023. A lot has happened. The girl's mother, Jasmine Reed, said these girls went through COVID together. Our kids are not even living up to see high school. I understand traditions and rules are set in place for a reason, and we're not saying they should be broken, but it might need to be revised also. But even the school district of Philadelphia appears to think that the fun-loathing, black joy-stealing principle of plain grits graduations could stand to live a little. The district does not condone the withholding of earned diplomas based on family members cheering for their graduates. The district said in a statement, we apologize to all the families of graduates who were impacted and are further looking into this matter to avoid it happening in the future. And of course, Black Twitter came through and supported the black girls just trying to rock without suffering. The rhythm envy of a principal who definitely claps on the 2 and 4. Let me give a shout out real quick to Miss Lisa, Valerie, Black Pressure, and RC Gym Mo Salon as well for their donations. Thank all you guys. Definitely appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble, and y'all see the principal, man. This principal was something else right here. You talk about being a witch. She sat up here, and not only that, denied 3 other girls a damn diplomas as well too. Now you're going to give it to them afterwards. Part of people coming to graduation is to actually get their diploma so everybody can see them actually hand it to them. So to give it to them afterwards was still was disrespectful. And at least the actual district says something about that. Like that was just a little bit that just took it too far. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic again. You got it.
Yep, they did take it too far, and And like you said, I get rules and regulations, but people act like rules weren't meant to be broken. And maybe that's just me because I'm a rule breaker. But at the same time, it's a certain time and a place to do things. You could have reprimanded them after the fact, but not embarrass them in their once in a lifetime moment. You only get that graduation moment once, and you don't get it again. So I don't really even get all of the need to have all of these rules set in place. My kids went to a predominantly black school, and they had, some rules set in place. They told the parents several times, y'all don't, clap and be screaming out your child's name, because we have a lot of students. We want to get through all, all of this. We don't want to keep y'all here all day long, but they know good and well we don't listen. We are a stiff-necked people. We do not listen when we see our babies cross that stage. Honey, that's my baby. Hey, you, whoop, whoop. We gonna get it in. And everybody's gonna laugh, and they're gonna keep it moving. But this goes along with the whole Karen thing that we were saying earlier. They want to police our bodies to no extent, and it's like they have to, show that they have the authority, that they are the authorities, and I am white, and I said so, and you are going to follow my rules, or I am going to at the very least embarrass you, or make you feel some ways, or make you feel bad about yourself because you freaking exist. So, like Rella was saying, it shows up not only in their words, but it also shows up in their actions. And it's the actions that really, really cause the harm. And they are so used to causing harm, it's like they do it without even being having to even think about it, because they're so used to doing it and getting away with it. And I can't wait for Jacob's Tribe to rise to the point to where we stop letting them get away with it. When we all get on the same page, we gonna be on their ass, because they deserve it. They deserve it. What Rella went through with somebody asking her if she was a drug dealer, that was extremely unnecessary. He need his behind handed to him. And that was akin to what I was saying earlier about the woman who was placing her check from the Department of Treasury in the bank, and the people to turn around and ask her or tell her that the reason they were holding her money is because it could be drug money. Since when does the Department of Treasury send a check to drug dealers? Since when does it take you all 50 plus days to check and verify a check and distribute it back to a person? Since when do you shut down a person's account because you think that they may have had an erroneous check, and then don't even have the balls about you like you did when you took their money, to tell them that we're going to close your account until further investigation? You give them no information, and you force them to throw a lawsuit on you. So we've got Karens on the streets, in our institutions, apparently online, doing QuickBooks services. We've got Karens and Kens that we have to navigate around every day, all day, and it's gotten to the place of ridiculousness. They're too comfortable with the label of being a Karen, because maybe they don't mind going viral. Maybe they don't mind losing their job, because a lot of these Karens have turned around and did GoFundMe, or had people do GoFundMe in their name, and they were presented with a whole lot of cash for being a Karen. Some of these Karens may have lost their job, but because they lost their job, they had another job opportunity from one of these companies who don't mind having a Karen in their employ, just to spite Black people who got them fired in the first place. It's very telling, and I just need our people to pay attention and do what we do in the background. Move in silence, or however we decide to move, but by all means, make moves, make plans, prepare, keep everything that you see in mind, and know that it is not a fluke. It is not your mind playing tricks on you. It is what it is. When you see it, do believe your eyes, and don't let nobody tell you that your eyes was lying. Don't let nobody tell you need more information to find out the background information, because context is everything. No, mother effer, what I just see was enough. So we got to get there. Thanks, Toter.
As always, thank you. As once again, Trouble. Excuse me. Thank you once again coming back up here, y'all. DJ, I know he was having some issues with his truck, so he's not gonna be able to make it up in the space tonight. He did text me, so hopefully DJ go ahead and get his truck straight and whatnot. But he won't be up in the space. He's having some auto issues. So shout out to our man DJ as well. Let me go ahead and get to Rella, and I see Professor. Let's get some other speakers up here too. I see a bunch of people up here. I see I see Rera, I see Black Majority State. I see Val. I know everybody like, damn, don't call my name. But I see y'all up in the space though. But go ahead, for those who's not gonna come up on and speak, at least go ahead and tweet the space out for us. Go ahead and retweet the space out. Definitely go ahead and tweet it out to everybody that's that may not be up in here as well.
Black Native spotting up in here. Did I see a Black Native up in here?
Oh yeah, I see Black Native up in here as well too. Shout out to Black Native as well. Ray, what's up? I see you down in the listener section. I know you're probably busy doing some stuff. So there's a bunch of our people up in the spot as well too. So sometimes everybody just want to listen. I can understand that, but we definitely want to want to hear some of the sisters tonight as well too. But shout out to you guys all up in the space as well. Rella, go ahead, you got it.
Thanks, Toter. That same school, that's the same school that there was a young girl too. I think she had like a light pink hair. They were wearing all white on stage, right?
I didn't see the actual video, Rella. I just I didn't see the video. I just had the article.
If it's the same, I mean, it's been multiple schools, which is really sad. And it seems like the same teachers is always something the white woman. They always. I'm just saying, majority of them. They not all white, but I'm just saying it just seemed like there's a pattern. But the school that I saw, if it's the same school, the same person. When the girls were coming across the stage, the one girl danced, but before her, there was a girl who got up and was called, but she had like light pink hair or something like that. And they were dressed really nice. And she walked up to get her diploma, and the lady denied her diploma. She didn't dance or anything. She just walked to get her diploma. And I'm thinking to myself, Trouble is so right. They do want to police our bodies and how we look and what we sound like or how we dance or respond, because body movement and certain body languages is a language, and to them, they don't want you to be able to communicate any type of joy, any type of encouragement, of love when it comes to achieving something. And so when you see that, like, I always shout it down. They were talking that stuff in my kids' school when my daughter was graduating, and I was still loud. And I was still proud. As a matter of fact, I was the loudest one in there. My daughter received a scholarship from her school, beknownst to us, and I was still loud. To the point where people came up to us afterwards, it's like, oh my God, I didn't even know your daughter went to school. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to be ourselves and show them that they cannot police our autonomy for our sons and our daughters. Hell, even for ourselves. If you got somebody telling you that you can't champion yourself, you can't encourage yourself in front of your own people, they're trying to silence that energy so we don't give it off to one another, so we don't encourage one another or rise up like Trouble said. That's what they want. That's why they make it a big deal to make sure they police young boys, because they don't want young boys to be the example for one another when they're doing good or when they are triumphing over odds. Yeah. Wholeheartedly, Trouble was on the money.
Yeah, they sitting up here talking about they don't want the people, they didn't want the parents to clap, and I mean, come on, like, chill. Like, it is a graduation. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion. It's a major milestone in the life, of people that's been going to school since a lot of them were in pre-K, and now you're actually graduating. So to sit up here and say that the family, the mother, the father, you may have grandma up in there, you got some aunties, the siblings and stuff, they can't sit up here and clap a little bit. Nobody's saying just, bring the roof down, anything like that is, I really don't understand that because, like you said, this is a joyous occasion. It's a major milestone in somebody's academic life. And let's be honest too, a lot of people, that's going to be the last graduation they have in their lifetime. A lot of people may not be going on to college after that. So, as long as people are not being rude and they're not just drowning out other people as well too, I don't have an issue. I don't see any problem with that. So they sit up here and say that you can't clap or you can't do a little cheer or whatever.
Or dance. Now, I will say this, Toter. There was a school down in Georgia that was predominantly black, but the faculty looks like it was, mixed. Of course, the principal, I believe, was white or whatever. They had the police there. And I saw the young boys dancing. They was kicking them out. They were kicking them out of the ceremony. So they couldn't even complete the ceremony. And I think one of the cops, one of the cops who was a black guy, he was like over the top with it. And I think sometimes too, we allow them to do this to us. And you do have people in the community who they think that, well, if you're acting out, you're dancing, you're uncouth, or you're not showing respect to, the ceremony. But I don't think that's true. Our community and our culture is to celebrate. I'm not saying that in some places, you read the room, if it's a classic air, like if you're doing certain things, but celebration to us is like, it do be over the top. And I encourage it.
My mom had a cowboy bell at my graduation.
What's up, Rivera? I see my girl Rerod came up here as well too. Alyssa, guys, y'all want to speak? Definitely just go ahead and raise your hand. I want to get y'all up in here as well too. Hopefully, I can get you guys to come up in and speak as well too. You see what the topic is? We talking about the Karen, so definitely go ahead and get them hands up because we definitely want to get some speakers up in here. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic, and then I'm gonna get to Rerod. Got you, Alyssa. Rivera, you want to speak? Go ahead and get your hand up. Definitely want to go ahead and get our new speakers up in here if they want to speak, that is. Go ahead, Professor.
Newstoter, Rilla, Trouble. I'm going to ask you, family, have y'all seen Black Pressure? I'm going to ask you too. Damn, is Black Pressure still up in here? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay. Have y'all seen that Karen movie that premiered on Netflix? I think it was about 2 years ago. They were promoting it big time, and I think it's I'm trying to remember who the star of the movie is. Taryn Manning, I think is the star. But if y'all go back and watch that, that's what exactly what we're talking about right now. That's what this Karen movie is about. The woman in that movie, the Caucasoid woman in that movie, was trying to displace a black family out of the neighborhood who had just moved in. She was doing all kinds of racist antics to get them out. Whatever she could do to bother them, she was trying to do it. Okay. And but this is on Netflix, everybody. So I want y'all to watch that because what we're talking about in this space right now is what this movie is about. They made that movie because, of course, the Karen name had become so popular with the videos that we kept seeing across the nation. So this is why they made this movie. I'm gonna land right there, Newstoter, but I just want to see if y'all had actually saw that movie.
I remember that title, Professor, but no, I didn't get a chance to see it. Was the movie decent? Was it okay?
I thought it was pretty good, man. It really portrayed the Karen the way that we have seen it in these videos. To me, they had it right on the money, man. She was a mean-ass, racist bitch. She was entitled. She felt like she owned the black people that moved into the neighborhood, the black family that moved into the neighborhood, which is how all of them act. That's exactly how you see these women act. Like they own us, man. Like they think they can do whatever. As a matter of fact, when it comes to black men, and I've been joking about the whole sexual part of it, y'all, but that is true. What I'm telling you, they feel like they own the black man's penis too. Now, some of the sisters might laugh at me when I say that, but they know I'm telling the truth when I say it. But that is part of the whole entitlement of a white woman. She feels like she's entitled to the black man's penis. So now y'all feel like y'all can dispute that, dispute it. But you can't dispute it because you know I'm telling the truth. I'm going to land right there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Let me go ahead and get to Reraw. Reraw, what's going on tonight, sister? How you doing?
You know I had to jump in and say something. I'm driving, so excuse me if my phone is a little funny. But Karen stories. I'm on the West Coast. I have so many. But the first one I wanted to talk about was involving a black man. So I'm at the club, and these white girls are outside the club, and you know they trying to get all this attention, drunk white girl shit, you know. And the black dudes was like, "Nah, we good." And they was like, "What? Are you gay? Oh, you must be gay." As if a black man has to choose a white girl or there's something wrong with him. And so I, you know, of course, I insert myself into all races shit. I was like, well, maybe he just doesn't like fur or gay girls. Oh, yeah, they was big bad. They were big bad. But, like, they try to come at me with this black meat thing and all. I'm like, listen here, my slurs for them are so mean now. They just get out of my face. I mean, I don't play with them at all when it comes to racial slurs, because if you want to hurt somebody's feelings, or your feelings about to get hurt, cave dweller. So, but for me personally, like, I deal with it every single day from these white women. They are just so jealous. It's like, it's not my fault. You came into work all red and burning and shit. Like, I don't get it. So I'm at the store with my husband, and I'm talking to the white lady, and she's just not addressing me. She's not speaking to me. She's only talking to my husband. And so I'm like, what's your problem? And once again, she didn't speak to me. So I said, I'm going to speak to your manager, because there's seriously something wrong with you. As me as a customer, I'm at Walmart, mind you. I don't even know why I shop there anymore, but it's close to my house. Anyway, I'm at Walmart, mind you. And she's like, I don't want you to get, no. It's not you don't want me to get anything. I didn't come here with no attitude. I asked you a simple question, and you chose not to even acknowledge me. And so I'm starting to feel like anything to give us a bad day is what makes their day. It's like a transfer of energy almost, you know. So if I come in and I'm all happy and giddy and feeling good, then they're like, oh, let me figure out a way to stop her because we're oppressing her, right? She's not making any money, right? Her life sucks, right? So why is she happy? Clearly, we're not doing enough. Clearly, we're not doing enough if she's smiling and walking around with a black man. We're not doing enough. And that's how I feel. Like I said, I go through it every single day at work. I go through it every time I have to go to the gas station or anything. And it's just like, I don't always want to be like, oh, they jealous, but I just really can't think of another reason, because I don't know these people. I ain't mad at them when I see them. You know, I'm not like that. And then this whole fear of us not smiling at them, that's really starting to get to me, because now that they realize that we know who they are, they want me to smile all the time. Listen, I'm not smiling at you. I don't need to do anything to make you feel comfortable, because I'm already uncomfortable being in your presence. So it's a lot. And so the last one I wanted to tell you guys about was my niece was pregnant, and it was her first pregnancy. So she's at the hospital, and they're trying to check her cervix to see if the baby's coming, and it's uncomfortable for her. And so she's like, it hurts. She's actually crying while the nurse is trying to, stick her fingers up there and see if the baby's head is there or whatever. But I mean, me and my mom, we knew she was ready. So they sent her home, and she winded up going into labor at my mom's house. And so by the time she got to the hospital, she couldn't have no epidural. They didn't give her no epidural. They didn't give her anything. We just had to knuckle and bear that shit, eye to eye, face to face. And it just pissed me off so much. As soon as my baby came out, I was right there with him. I was right there with him. No, don't give him no vaccine. No, don't do that. Don't do none of that. I'm making sure, you know what I'm saying, that they're doing everything that they can, you know what I'm saying, for my great nephew. And it's like, nah, bro, like they really trying to kill us in this hospital. I have medical problems. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do this shit naturally, or I'm not going, because nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They work as a unit within every single aspect of this country: medical, judicial, loans, banks, schools. Like I don't know if they sent out a text message and all the white people get it, and they all choose to act accordingly. But for some reason, they are all on this, and they understand it. They understand it. And so the last experience I want to tell you guys about is so we at the gas station, right? And this older white lady, yeah, she might have been about 60, 65. Could you help me put my bag in the car? To my husband. And my husband, he didn't want to do it, so he said, let me go ask my wife. And I said, absolutely not. There are plenty of other men in here that she can ask to get her bag and do that. We ain't no bell service. Oh, she was so bad. I don't understand. I'm an elderly woman. Why wouldn't you help me? Because we don't have to. Because we don't have to help you. I am not obligated to help you or do anything or to smile at you or to make you feel comfortable in public. I am not obligated to do any of those things. And Professor, I was going to watch the Karen, but then I was like, I don't know. It's just like they're promoting it. They're making it seem like it's a good thing by making a movie about it. I mean, did she go to jail? Did she die? Like, at the end, that's what I want to know. Because the only reason why I would want to watch it is something bad happened to her. All right, I'll be watching these.
He can't tell you the spoilers now. He can't give you the spoiler on it.
Listen, I'll be watching these. How did I survive? Or I don't know what it's called, but these white people, they be going in the wilderness and stuff. They be getting avalanches on them. They be like out there dying. And I just be cracking up. Like, that's what y'all get. That shit tickles me every time I see it. I'm sorry. It does. I'm going to go home and watch some of those tonight so I can laugh some more. And I'm not playing. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And thank you to all the beautiful ladies in space and all the beautiful men in space. Love, life, and reparation.
Rerod, don't think we forgot that your birthday coming up.
Yes, ma'am. July 18th.
All right.
Hey, News, I wouldn't want her to be my neighbor, man. I just couldn't do it. Hard on that.
Sister Rerod, we love you, baby. We love you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Rerod, as always. Definitely, and happy early birthday as well, too. Let me go ahead and get it to Alyssa. Alyssa, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. If I am, correct me, sweetie.
It's Alicia.
Alicia.
My mama added the I.
Alicia.
Unnecessary things, but yeah, it's Alicia.
Alicia. Okay, I'm sorry about that. And I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably forget and say it wrong again. So forgive me just in advance.
It happens all the time. That's okay. This is my first time speaking in your space. So hello, everyone.
Well, I'm glad. Hopefully you'll come up more often as well too. So how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I actually listen to you while I'm working with my husband. But all these Karen stories, I had to put my 2 cents, and I have so many. I put the one in the chat about the lady at Walmart, like I am. She had old lady, had to be about 70 years old. I'm getting my coffee creamer. This old lady gonna tell me, you need to put your mask on. I said, bitch, I will put you in this cooler right with this coffee creamer. She got the message, and she looked real stunned that I would actually say that out loud. But yes, I was gonna shove her old ass in the cooler with the coffee creamer. But the main Karen story I have, me and my husband, we actually own a cleaning business here in Cincinnati, and we clean like these rich white folk houses or whatever. And we was going into a house, we had all our cleaning supplies, like you could tell that's what the hell we're there for. I punch in the garage code. This lady in the van got her camera out. I'm like, look at this heifer here. And no sooner than we get in the house, the cops come knocking on the door. This bitch done called the police. Mind you, we're there every week like clockwork. She called the police on us. The police, you could tell he was embarrassed by his people doing that, because obviously we were, allowed to be in there. And these Karens are I hate them, and I wish they would all just die. And I think they're bred from Walmart. Because all the Karen stories we hear in Walmart, I think they're born and raised in Walmart.
All right. Thank you, sister, for coming up tonight. And I did see the comment because I put the laugh out loud when I saw that the post that you had put out there because I did think that was pretty funny as well, too. So
I hate old white women. They are the worst. If I could just trip every white bitch I see, I would be happy for the rest of my life.
Hey, Professor, what we was talking about yesterday? It's a progression. You go from Becky, then you go to Karen, and then what is it? Susan next? Is it Mildred? Which one?
It can be a Susan, but actually
they got to throw a Mildred in there too. Now you should have a Mildred.
A Gertrude.
Oh yeah, Gertrude. Yeah.
Gertrude's the other one.
Yeah. Okay.
Japanese white women, they start off at the Becky, because the Becky is like the younger version of a Karen, and then you got the Karens and the Gertrudes and but the older, like Sister Alicia just said, these older white women are the worst.
Yeah,
the Beckys are actually some of the white girls that like to hang around the hood.
Yeah.
They got haircuts that look like black women. They might even have a mixed breed child or whatnot, but they still racist within nature. So that's what I look at as a Becky.
Yeah, and I got and it's a bunch of little Becky's been trying to holler at my youngest son pretty hard too. So I had to have some conversations with him because they've been coming at him like crazy and whatnot. I'm like, nah, we can't go that route there, bro. We can't. We're not doing this. We're not doing this right here. So he done had my youngest son had Becky's, and he done had a couple Sung Lus and a couple different nationalities have been coming at him pretty hard and whatnot. So I've been having to have that father-son talk with him as well too, and yeah.
So you got the trying to do it to him too.
Well, the one, yeah, he had the Becky, and then he had one. She was black and she was Asian. That's what it was. She was black and Asian, and yeah. So I mean, I guess.
Okay, so he had a child black.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his mom was saying, well, at least like it was better for the black and Asian one over the white one. So I was like, well.
That's how a lot of black mothers do look at though. Cause like my mom told me one time, told her that she would rather see me with a Rosita than she would with a white woman, a Becky. Cause see that Becky thing has been out there for a long time, y'all. That's not something that's new. That's actually been out there for a minute. Becky, they were talking about Becky back in the 90s. So my mom, she told me, she said, yeah, you be better off with a Hispanic Rosita before you get with a Becky. And it just depends on how your mothers look at it. Your mom, they don't want you with no white woman. But most black mothers really don't want you with a black woman. I mean, with a caucasoid, they really don't. And but you can't blame them because look at the history in this country of what has happened to black men when it comes to the Caucasoid women. So most black women don't want to see their sons with a white woman.
Professor, my mama told me, but nothing toes is pinker than yours. Nothing that smell like sushi, sauerkraut, a Taco Tuesday. And so I'm just going to leave that and she didn't want me to come home with nothing that wasn't
What was that?
What's happening, cuz? Hey, peace and blessings. All the good shit.
Who is that speaking? Who is that speaking real quick?
It's Pat.
Oh, Pat. Okay, Pat, put your hand up. I'm gonna get to you because we got some speakers right here. Yeah, no, you cool. Just go ahead and get your hand up, and I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to the new speakers. Rella, I'm gonna get to you in a second. But I want to get to the new speakers. Pat, you know how to get your hand up because I got you. I got Black Native and I got Black Majority State, and then I'll go ahead and I'll get to you as well too, Pat. So just put your hand up so I can remember you. Shout out to Cognitive as well too for his contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead real quick and in the Jumbotron, guys, look on the left-hand side because Rick just put this up and he's got the actual names by age. He's got Haley from 0 to 18. He's got Becky from 19 to 35. He's got Karen from 35 to 45. He's got Susan from 45 to 60. And he's got Gertrude from 65 on up. So apparently, those are the names. So shout out.
Yeah, that's the older white women right there.
Shout out to Rick, because I didn't even know about the Haley. But shout out to him. Hey, let me go ahead and get the Black Native. I'm gonna get the Black Native. I'm gonna get the Black Majority State. And Pat, I got you as well too. So Black Native, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
Peace, Newstoter. What's going on? What's going on, Professor? Yes. What's going on? Y'all remember that video? It came out like last year sometime, and it was like, when you're Black, you're never really alone because there's always a white person in your business. And it was just like video after video after video of Black people at cookouts, white person standing in the back looking, they at the store, white person standing there watching, and it's like close encounters of the Karen kind. I've had 3 different experiences with, I'm going to name one Gertrude, and I'm going to say the other one had to be like maybe 50, in her early 50s or whatever. This one was like weird. Now, this was in 2020, and this was like around maybe March. No, it was right when the pandemic was really kicking off, right? So I'm sitting in the car, and I had my dog in my car with me. I got a Yorkie. He cute and all that shit. He's trouble because white people love dogs. So sometimes I don't even want to bring him around them because they be kissing him in the mouth and all kind of weird shit. But anyway, so I'm sitting in my car, and I'm about to run into the supermarket. I had the window rolled down, so I hear this white lady. She's walking kind of like by my car, and she was on the phone. She was like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. Let me call you back, and let me go ahead and pet the dog. So I'm sitting in my car like, pet what dog? I know this bitch ain't going to come to my car window when even if we wasn't in a pandemic, but we in a pandemic, and reach her pasty, rusty hands in there to pet my dog. Yes, she was. So she came over, and all she heard was the window go up. So she was like, oh my God. Like, she felt like that. So I'm in the store. It's only 3 people in the store. I'm at the customer service line because they had owed me some money. So let me go get my money they owe me. So she could have went to the self-checkout. It was early in the morning. It had to be like maybe 9:30, 10 in the morning. She comes to the customer service line. So I'm dealing with the lady at customer service. So she was like, I just wanted to, I don't know why you rolled the window up, because I was just trying to compliment you and your dog, and you rolled the window up. So I'm trying to ignore her because I don't have a limit. I go from 0 to like 1,000 quick, especially when it comes to them. They get no grace. So I was like, and the customer service is a white woman. She's like, oh my God, why are you doing this? So after I got my money and, did my transaction, I turned around. I said, now what the fuck did you just say? Like, you wanted my attention. You got it. You got my attention now. Now, what were you talking about? And she was like, oh. She tried to act like she was all flustered. And you know how they get all into a victim mode when they're the ones being the passive aggressive. But then when you respond, it's like, oh my God. So she was like, well, I just wanted to tell you that you had a cute dog. I said, look, lady, please get out of my face. Go about your day. Do what you was going to do before you had an encounter with me, and just keep moving, because I'm not the one that you want to deal with like that. So that was one instance. The second instance is when they called the cops on me at the dog park where I live at now. And it was me and my daughter. And I have a Yorkie, like I said. He's running around in the small dog park. All these white people got their dogs from like the ASPCA or whatever. So I got a full-blood Yorkie. So they're already mad that I got an expensive-ass dog. And they probably like, oh, she got that expensive dog. And we got shelter dogs. We got our dogs from the shelter. So they already hate it. Because, they don't want black people to have nice shit. They're the only ones supposed to have nice stuff. So when they see you got something that's better than theirs, they're like, oh, what kind of job do you have? Or how were you able to acquire that? So they called the cops, right? I got the video on my Instagram too. So we going back and forth, and my daughter was like, "I know you want to say the N word," and she was like, "Well, I don't understand why you people." I said, "What the fuck you say, you people?" So then they became like a mob mentality. It was like maybe 6 or 7 Karens and 2 Kens. So she was like, "Well, I don't want to call the cops." I said, "Better yet, I'll call the cops first." So I already told my daughter, "Watch and learn." So when the cops got said, "Watch, I'm going to play the victim of all victims." So when the cops came, I was like, "Officer, I felt like I was attacked. I didn't know what they were going to do to me." My daughter's, I'm telling her not to laugh. Don't laugh. I felt like I was going to be attacked. They turned into a mob. And the cop was like, "Really?" And they was like, "She wasn't saying that before, officer. She wasn't acting like that before." And I was like, "I don't know. This is a public dog park, and I live out here, and I'm crying, boo-hooing, fake tears." He got all of their IDs. He checked them. He was like, "Let me tell you something. She could bring her dog in here just like you could bring your dog in here. This is a public park. You cannot tell her that she can't bring her dog in here. And if I have to come back, I'm arresting all of y'all." And I'm sitting back looking at them, and they like, "Oh my God," because I guess they thought I was going to be the one that was going to be disciplined. But I played the Karen too. I'm like, we both play this game. So, these Karens are a headache. They need to be stopped. They've been running amok. They're losing their jobs. And I think I came on the tail end of trouble. It's like, is it all worth it? Like, you're literally losing your job. You're losing your apartment. You're losing it's just like everything is being snatched from you just to be racist. Is it worth it? So, yeah, like, I guess they get another job somewhere else, because it's no big thing off their back. That's the only way I can understand it, because I keep seeing these people losing their jobs and getting evicted from their apartments because they can't stop being racist and stop being in black people business. We want white people to leave us the fuck alone. That's what we want, but they can't stop. They can't. It's like it's something in them. They think that we are still somehow a slave master type of relationship with them. And so we got to keep checking it. I know the video somebody put it in, a man fishing, a white woman come over there. He said about 3 or 4 white people and came and checked on him and asked him why he fishing. You own the lake too? You own the lake, you own the trees, you own the grass, you own the air, you own the oceans. They don't want us to have no joy, no fun. And that's all I want to say. And those are my 2 little Karen stories. Those are just 2, because I got a couple of more, but I'm a land.
Thank you, Black Native, and it was good to hear your actual stories as well too. It was definitely entertaining to say the least. Let me go ahead and get to Black Majority State. Black Majority State. We did have what's his name up here. Pat. He was up here, but I guess he went down. Black, you got it. How you doing tonight? Pretty good. Can you hear me, Black? Yeah, you were kind of really, really low. Now it seems like you may have to drop down because we hear a bunch of static. Can you try again, Black? Can you hear me? It's a bunch of static. Okay. Let Black go down and come back up and let him try to go ahead and let him get his position right back as well too. So go ahead and get him back up here in a second.
Hey, Tony, we got the goddess coming up here. Yeah, look at her. She coming on up here.
Yeah, I'm glad to see more of our people coming up here.
Yeah.
I guess while Black is trying to get back up here, and let me go ahead and get to Ray as well too. Ray, go ahead and hold on. Let me see Black. Let me get Black first because he is coming back up here. So let's see how his sound is right now. Black, can you hear me?
Yeah. Is it any better now?
Okay, yeah, it's much better. You got it. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. So, man, shout out to Miss Trouble because right when she said she saw that video, I was listening to this older Black woman in Illinois. She has disabilities from asthma, and they put her through such a trial over that check. You know, it's a 3-minute video, but she's tearing up. It's an emotional video to sit there and watch an elder go through that. And, you know, obviously I got to relay it to the Tulsa, Oklahoma. I just want to send all prayers and strength to those elders as well. But I dropped that fishing video down in the chat, and you know, like I hashtag it about integration, but the reality is here is a black man. It sounds like his wife may be the one behind the camera, but he's just out, you know, at the lake or whatever this thing is, this little pond. He's enjoying his day off or whatever the case may be. And in whatever amount of time that he's just enjoying and relaxing. And, you know, I mean, because fishing is really just like this relaxing thing where you're supposed to be able to just think and whatever. And yeah, he says three of these white people came over and have questioned him about his residency in that particular community. And she was very adamant about whether or not they actually live there. Very, very adamant about that. They do not want to live around us, quite clearly. And then Miss Rella with the graduation story. So, you know, I watched my son graduate, and it was the same thing. You know, they didn't want nobody celebrating. All these really stringent rules. I watched 2 nieces graduate, same thing. Watched my sister graduate from college, and it was the same thing. And this is all over like the last 15 years or so. The only graduation I went to where they actually encouraged the families to hoop and holler and do whatever you wanted to in those metal bleachers was Fort Jackson, South Carolina, military. You know, Army Reserve graduation. They really, really encouraged the families to get excited for you know, our family members that were serving in that.
My station right there, black majority. Fort Jackson, baby. Fort Jackson.
Relaxing Jackson.
Yep, relaxing Jackson. That's what they call it.
Yeah. I mean, because I had 2 nieces that went through there, and it was exciting, you know. But then they kind of tell you it ain't what it seemed. You know what I mean? You go through the process and realize they were just, you know, it's racist as fuck on the military barracks or whatever. So, you know, it sucks. We got to deal with this wherever we are, wherever we at, wherever we interact with. I read about women's natural desire, and I think this is a design to alter behavior. I just think it's just this natural thing that God put in women. It probably has to do with, you know, raising children or whatever the case may be. But I think if you take that and you put it into the mind of a racist woman or a woman who just simply hates others because of their skin complexion or because they're Black American, because they're a Black American male, I think it becomes weaponized. And I think that's where a lot of this may really be coming from. And, you know, I think that, and this is just a theory, but because you have trans women, whatever nationality, you know, you got these psychopaths with the guns and doing whatever they're doing. I think that it becomes a thing where that chemical, whatever the hormone is really elevating this desire to change other people's behavior in such a way that they become Karens. They become these sociopathic people who think it's their place to control other people.
All right, thank you, Black. Let me go ahead and get to Ray Rivera. I saw you had your hand up. If you want to speak, keep your hand up, and I'll get to you as well too. Ray, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody? So I'm gonna be real quick, man. I gotta throw my 2 cents in here. So obviously, everyone knows my military background. Obviously, I served in the Navy, right? So you will never meet a more entitled person in your life, than a white military, a white officer's wife. You will never in your life meet someone that's more entitled. And anybody that's ever served in the military knows what I'm talking about, right? So this isn't my story, but this guy that went through this is close to me, so he told me. So in the military, you salute officers. I'm pretty sure y'all all seen people salute the military, right? But when the spouses come through, for whatever reason, they want you to salute them too. And long story short, he had been on his feet because he's a master at arms. So for those of y'all that don't know, that's the military police that when you go through the gate, they check the IDs and let you proceed on or whatever. So, he's doing his job, and she hands, her dependent ID. He was like a 05, 06 or something. So for the Navy, that's a captain. That's very, very high rank. And she was literally standing there, and she refused to move because he wouldn't salute her. and she basically was like, well, ma'am, you're not in the military. Your husband is. So long story short, she went and found his keys, tried to get him in trouble and all this other stuff, man. So especially on these military bases, I swear they walk around like this shit don't stay. And my actual Karen story really happened to my wife. So I've said this before. I used to live in New Mexico. So me and my wife lived in New Mexico at the time. And my wife, she was on this social media group, just trying to find different activities and things to do in New Mexico, on the weekends and stuff, right? So this woman, she was our next door neighbor. Like our yards were connected on this military base. So, you can reach over and pet the dog and all this other stuff, right? So I don't know why she decided one day to just get on this app. She was like, is there anything we can do about dogs? This dog is barking. He's right. Basically she was talking about us. 100% talking about us, right? She didn't know my wife was on the app, right? My wife, very, very soft-spoken woman. Very soft-spoken woman. If y'all ever heard not Michelle, what is her name? I can't think of her name. I think it is Michelle. She has a really really high pitched voice. My wife is like this too. She has a very
Michelle. That's her.
Michelle. Thank you. I'm saying it wrong. Michelle. So she has a very, very soft spoken voice, man. Boy, my wife, when I tell you, she went off on this woman, basically saying, "Hey, bitch, you got a fucking problem. You need to bring your motherfucking ass over to the house. You have no other problem. The other day, reaching your musty ass arm over the fence, petting the dog. But if you got something to say, we're right here." So, this woman came to our house on our front doorstep and played the victim, right? Talking about, well, I had PTSD because I got chased by a dog when I was 10. My wife didn't give her an ounce of grace. She was like, well, what the fuck does that got to do with us? He was like, well, if you're so scared of the dog, why do you have your children, playing with the dog and stuff like that, petting the dog and carrying on? If you're just that traumatized, why would you do that? And she was like, well, I just want to make peace and blah, blah, blah. My wife was basically like, can I pet the dog? My wife's slammed the door on this one. My wife is a 100% rider, man. That's why I ride for her. Those are my stories. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Ray. Appreciate it as always. Thank you. Rivera was up here. Is that Rivera down there with the fat? Is it Rivera? Is that
Somebody named Fat Neck, man. I think that's Rivera though, but the name is Fat Neck.
I see.
Fat Neck, immigrant. What did it say?
Okay, sound like you must have. Can you hear me? You kind of low, Rivera. Can you speak up a little bit louder?
Yeah, I'm driving. I got this. What you call it?
Oh, okay. You got your Bluetooth in. Okay. You low. You really low. Yeah, you breaking up too. Yeah, you breaking up too. Hey, you was breaking up. You breaking up some. I can hear you a little better now. Go ahead real quick because you was breaking up, but go ahead.
Those women that are very, they call them dependents or dependent queens. I didn't really have any interaction with the wives. Damn, I missed my accent. I didn't really have any interaction with the wives, but I heard about that. The wives wanted to be saluted. But I'll be quick because I know you probably can't hear me. My Karen story is really funny. It has to do with me being in the military. And the situation situation that happened was I was on leave. I came home back here to Tulsa. I was being stationed in Denver, Missouri. I came back to Tulsa, and I got to Tulsa International Airport, and I was in my campus. And the first thing I wanted to do was get home, get out of my campus, and live my life and enjoy the fucking days that I had before I, get orders. So I'm at the airport, and there's this woman with her child. I know you guys are going to think, oh, she got the child's hand. No, that's not what happened. Funny enough, I'm opening the door for this white lady. And this was when I was in my 20s, and I was probably a little bit foolish then because I did join the fucking Marine Corps. I opened the door for this woman. She grabbed that child's hand and decided to go all the way around to another fucking door. And then, as I walked to my vehicle, she decided to lock her vehicle so she could get into it. She locks it instead of unlocking it. And stopped and waited until I got to where I was going. So I just made sure to, let her know. It's funny that I just kind of said out loud, it's funny, I come back to this fucking place, you don't know who I am, and you don't fucking act like these white people act like fucking this. And I said it real loud so she can, her fucking little 2-year-old or 3-year-old can hear it. And I just remember feeling like, damn, that wasn't enough. I should have grabbed your kid and ran off and was joking and said something. But, the Karen thing is really funny. It's been going on before, the internet making them viral. They've been doing their little bullshit. I mean, some of the original Karens was like Sarah, what's her name, from Tulsa, yelling and screaming. Oh, these people are dangerous. These kids and these Karens are dangerous. They're funny to laugh at. It's funny to see them lose their jobs. But they're also dangerous because these people do call and make based on assumptions and make outlandish claims. There's a video, and I'm going to lay it here. There's a video of 2 young men working on a house, doing this man's gutter in an affluent white neighborhood, okay? And the police come and say, hey, we got a call that 4 or 5 black men have kidnapped some elderly guy, and they've got guns. And my brother, and I was kind of upset because I realized that the dude in the wheelchair was the guy who probably contacted these brothers, is probably the one who called because he kept trying to call the man's name out, and he's wheeling the fuck away as fast as possible to go to the police car. So of course I would leave the job. Fuck that job. He's trying to go get his buddy got his fucking headphones on. He's not paying attention. So these people are fucking dangerous. Extremely fucking dangerous. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you, Rivera. Let me go ahead and get to FBA Goddess. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get it in. I guess we'll get to Rella and then we'll get the professor, and we'll probably end up closing it out in a little bit, y'all.
Hey, how everybody doing tonight?
Hey, what's up?
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I have not had any Karens approach me. I've been waiting my turn, patiently, and I'm not sure as to why, they want to approach me. When I'm in a grocery store, push my little cart, they think that, we're just back in the 60s where I'm going to blues out of their way. No. I keep right on pushing with my straight face. That means you better get the fuck out my way. And I'm keep going straight because ain't no more crossing the street, honey. In the grocery store, nowhere. They go around me. I don't move. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to run across any of these Karens. I've just been waiting my turn patiently so I can deal with them accordingly. But black niggas, you're funny to me. But I don't even know why they even bother you either. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm waiting patiently. But yeah, they are crazy. They're dangerous. They know how to start them tears up from out of nowhere. Once they start doing that, getting on that phone, calling and the police, here they come running. But we already know who another Karen was, that ugly bitch, Carolyn Bryant. Carolyn Bryant, she was also a Karen, calling bluff lying on someone saying that he, tried to touch her and had him killed. So yes, that is very dangerous for them to be anywhere on earth, to me, they needed us somewhere with that mess. But I'm still waiting patiently. But thank you so much for letting me speak.
No problem. Thank you, FBA Goddess. It's been a little while since I heard from you, but I hope everything is well. So definitely glad to hear from you.
I lost my mom. So haven't been on here. I'm actually my first time speaking on space since I lost her. So she was my queen. She was everything to me. And she taught me well how I speak, how I work, what I'm out here doing. I was doing everything I was doing it while it was for her. But I'm going to continue what I'm doing for her. She would love what I did, and she was impressed. And I'm going to continue doing it all for her and also for us. Thank you.
Well, let me just offer you my condolences. I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your mother. Definitely keep you in our prayers, and just continue to try to push forward. I know how difficult that is. I lost mine in December as well too. So my condolences to you and the entire room, is also offering their condolences as well too. So I'm definitely sorry to hear about that. Let me go ahead real quick and get to hold on real quick. Who we have? What do we say? Professor. We're gonna go to Professor. Oh no, go Rella. Rella, Professor, Rera, Black Native. Cognitive, I see you up here too as well.
Hey, Newstoter, and definitely condolences to FBA Goddess and to everybody in the room who's ever lost a parent. That's a club you don't ask to be a part of. Just it's an automatic invitation. So prayers to you and everyone else as well. I want to keep it brief, and I'm just say, and I made that post. Ruth Gator Ginsburg, she was a Karen. I put the post down there at the time when the protest was happening with the NFL, and she talked about how she didn't see the significance of the protest, and she pretty much, gave her 2 cents from the Supreme Court, and these are the effects of people like these types of people when they get into positions of authority. They perpetuate, this behavior that continues to fester, but they never seem to check or have any type of laws that have been passed where we're protected from people who practice Karen or Ken behavior. And I want to caution and say, Karen and Ken behavior is picked up even by other groups of people that come into the country. The conversation around what happened in Forsyth, Georgia, with four black young men being murdered, that was off of the backs of a Ken lying about their assault on a woman, on a young lady, a young white woman, and that's always seems to be the case. That's their go-to. If you one of their women is assaulted, and somehow, a lot of our men or women seem to become unalived, and it's this perpetual culture. And I think they're playing it out in society behind the guise of this behavior, the Karen and the Ken behavior. It is a domestic terrorist behavior, and it needs to be called out as such. I love the fact that Black Native flipped the script, because that's how it has to be. Flip the script on them until you can get your CCW and you keep yourself protected, because it is a domestic terrorist behavior. And that is exactly what it is. And they infiltrate different industries, different professions, or just in general, like the police department or the medical field. And they practice these behaviors on us.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead and get to Cognitive. I see you just came up here as well, too. So let me go ahead and get to you as well. We're not going to keep the space open too much longer, y'all. For those that want to donate, Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, that's up in the Jumbotron as well, too. That is up in the Jumbotron. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the news. To the actual YouTube channel that is up in the Jumbotron on the left hand side, like the fourth on the left hand side. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Cognitive, what's going on tonight? You got it?
What's up? Shout out to everybody in the room. Great space. I do work in the medical field currently, have been for over 20 years. These crackers down here in Tennessee, I had a nurse call the fucking police on me and had me escorted out of a building because I refused to take an assignment. Now, mind you, there's only 2 other CNAs in the building. I got moved from the first floor to the second floor. Then the bitch, the Karen thought she had the audacity and thought I was going to move again. When I refused, she called the folks on me. Also, you got to realize these Mexicans, they also like to blend in with these white folks. I call them out all the time. And in fact, that particular issue happened down in Franklin, Tennessee, where that Mexican coach just got charged with raping those young girls, the soccer coach. So just be mindful of those people in the medical field. I always tell my Black American people at work, you got to stay on code with each other, even though we might not get along, because these white folks will get on code with each other no matter what. They will lie on you. They will say anything to. I've had a white woman tell me that I'm being racist when I'm simply asking her questions. So just be mindful where you at, and I'll always be on code with each other. But I'll let my phone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Cognitive. Let me go ahead and get to Professor. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, family. Cognitive, hey man, I'm telling you, that goes on all the time because I got relatives in that medical field, man. They tell me all about them stories, man. So I feel what you're saying on that. Family, I'm gonna take y'all back into the 90s, right before the O.J. Simpson case. There was a caucasoid bitch that stirred up racial animosity right there in South Carolina. And y'all know who I'm talking about, Susan Smith. She was the number 1 Karen besides Carolyn Bryant. Let me put her at number 2. Carolyn Bryant is number 1. Susan Smith, number 2. This woman, of course, as you know, went and lied and said that a black man carjacked her and her sons, and come to find out, as we know the story went, she drove her car off into a pond and drowned her sons. Her son drowned in that car. She killed her own kids. But she said a black man carjacked her and her kids. And she did this, y'all, because she was in love with another man, cheating on her husband. See, she was cheating on her husband. And lied and said a black man was the cause of her being carjacked and took her kids. See, this is what we're talking about when it comes to these Karens. So I just want to remind the family of that situation, because that occurred right before the O.J. Simpson situation went down, y'all. I'm telling you, y'all, the 90s was quite some interesting times, because that was in 94 when that went down. And then, we had that O.J. Simpson situation that went down in 95. So I'm going to land right there.
All right, Professor. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Reraw. We'll get to Reraw and Black Native. They'll be our last 2 speakers for the night. Go ahead, Reraw.
Thank you for letting me speak again, Newstoter. Professor, yeah, I remember that case. And if I'm not mistaken, it was terror on the streets. They was arresting every black man they came into contact with. It was complete terror and chaos. And imagine all of the black men who went to jail behind what she said, who still ain't out to this day because they couldn't make bail, right? And so they use these tears these fake ass tears. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was something like, I think it was like 2022, 2021, where all the white girls was going on TikTok and crying and stop crying like that, just real quick, because the tear, like, I don't know how to do it, but the tears just come out. Me personally, I can't cry unless it's genuine. But I've kind of learned how to weaponize my tears. At work, this old Gertrude, she was getting ready to retire, and for some reason, she just didn't want me in the office. I just got promoted. Okay, I went from receptionist to title clerk to accounting in my job. You know what I'm saying? And she just did not want me in the office. And so I did something with the stapler, you know, and I was like, I just don't know how to work it. Okay, I have a man. My dude does all the man stuff, staplers, cables, whatever. I will assemble. I don't do that shit. And so she was like, I can't believe you couldn't do this. You're annoying me. You are annoying me. Oh yeah, I activated them tears real quick. Yep, left the office. Went to my car. Whole thing. So before I even get a chance to talk to my main manager, this fat bitch goes in the office, closes the door, and tells her about the situation before I get a chance to. And so then my main manager, who's also HR, she comes and she's like, oh, well, you know, what happened? And I told her what happened, you know. And she was like, well, I asked her, like, could you stop? Could you stop? You know, can you not be like that? You know, and I'm like, I'm thinking it's cool because she's about to retire and I'm about to take her position. So I'm like, I can do this. For the next 3 months, I can do this. But yeah, I had to activate and weaponize my black girl tears. So much shit that happened to me at this job. They done bought me a car. Okay, they bought me a car so that they wouldn't get a lawsuit. But yeah, so now I got a new car. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an accountant now. You know, I'm doing big things. But it comes with a price. You know what I mean? And as far as Black Native, when she was talking about the dog, right? I had a Pomeranian, beautiful Pomeranian, and white people was talking to me, and I was like, why are you even around me? You know what I mean? Because I'm not used to like white people just being around me. So when I started my job at BMW, they have this whole thing called Pet the Dog. It's a whole thing that we have to watch. We have to watch it, and when dogs come into BMW, we have to offer the dog like a doggy bone and like all this stuff with the dog. So it made sense to me. I was like, all these white people all over my faces wanting to pet my fucking dog comes from this white person pet the dog shit. Like they want us to pet the dog and treat the dog like it is a person. And y'all worship dogs. I don't. That's on y'all. You know what I mean? I don't feel comfortable sitting here like trying to get cozy with your dog. Like I have a whole human in front of me. Why am I trying to get cozy with your dog? So this whole dog thing that they have going on, it really does kind of put you in a weird space because they want to pet your dog. They want to talk to you because you got a dog. They want to act like they're friendly because you got a dog. I think maybe they're trying to see if the dog is safe. It's some really weird shit. You see a black baby rolled over and driven over in a parking lot and feel nothing, but these white people see a dog being cool on the streets too hard and get a man fired. You know what I mean? It's some really weird shit going on with these people and these dogs that I don't want to have anything to do with. And last but not least, I would just like to say that, you know, ultimately we really have to find a way to combat this shit because it's not going to just die down. They're not going to stop because if that was the case after the Karen movie came out, you'd see them moving differently. But I remember right after the Karen video came out, there was this white lady at, I think it was Victoria's Secret, and she was messing with some black girls. And the black girls was like, I'm not doing anything to her. And the white lady jumped on the floor and started flailing around, like screaming and acting like she was having some kind of mental issue. And everybody in the store was like, leave her alone. And the black lady was like, I'm not bothering her. I'm just reporting her. And I mean, she was literally flailing around like a fish out to sea. It's just, it's a mental illness that they have. It really is. And also, don't ever forget she was her property too. Okay? Yes, absolutely. White women think that in some way, in some way, shape, or form, they're attached to us, and they have some kind of I don't know, some kind of like say so on what the fuck we do. Bitch, I was my great grandparents was raising young kids. You didn't even raise them, so how could you ever have anything to do with me? You know what I mean? So it's a lot, but I encourage everybody to just cuss their asses out whenever you're in the whenever it happens, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. So we don't need to stop. I'll land there.
All right, real quick, because Ray Viral, I was gonna let Black Native be the last speaker, so I'm gonna let y'all guys come in. Nobody else come up and speak because I'm getting ready to get up out the space. Real quick, Black Native, I'm gonna let you go for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and out Ray and Viral. I'll let you guys get a minute up in there, but like I said, she was gonna be the actual last speaker for the night, so nobody else requests to speak. I know uh, uh Tay she had just DM me and she was saying that also do not forget about the ultimate Karen, the one that actually was responsible for the actual Roe versus Wade, the woman that lied about being raped by black men, so they can go ahead and actually get that jump started as well too. That was the whole Kickstarter behind the Roe versus Wade and the abortion and everything else. That a black man, of course, was the actual face behind the actual law coming actually into effect as well. So shout out for her just bringing that up as well too. Black Native, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes, sweetie. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, Newstoter. I mean, this space, we should have been having conversations, because when we first started calling these people Karens, and they was like cutesy, and like they were trying to downplay the actual racism and hatred that they have towards every other non-white person, especially black people. And I was like, let's stop calling them Karens, because these are motherfucking terrorists. These are white terrorists. Let's not forget the Central Park Five. Let's not forget Rosewood. Let's not forget the black woman that just was shot in Florida by her neighbor, who was a Karen, who called the cops on her every other day. Those videos came out. I don't know if you've seen those, when she called the cops on this woman, and the cops was tired of coming out there. So it's weird that when she finally murdered this woman, you trying to act like she shouldn't be arrested, when you were mad that you had to keep coming out there for some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like everybody in this space has had a Karen encounter, except for Miss FBA Empress. Like, yeah, you got to get at least one in. You know what I'm saying? You got to come across at least one. Because the dog thing, like Reba was saying, they talk to my dog like he could fucking talk before they speak to me. And I'm like, he can't talk, but I can't. Put him on the spot like y'all doing too much. Y'all weird. This shit is a weird vibe. I put the picture of my dog in the comments, so you can see this dog that is in the picture was such a threat that they had to call the cops on me and him and my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to cold check these motherfuckers whenever they trying to get out of line, or whenever they trying to ask you, hey, you live out here, or, can you tell me what you're doing? Get the fuck out of my face and go about your motherfucking day, because I'm about to go about mine. I'm not having no mercy. I'm not having no sympathy. You going to get this work. You know what I'm saying? If you put your hands on me, that's a whole nother story. I'm not a violent person, but I will defend myself, and you're going to get this work if you touch me. So I'll curse them out verbally. They're going to get all the smoke. And thank you for letting me speak. Peace to the room, peace and reparations. And whenever you come in contact with these white motherfuckers, give them that business. And I'm a land.
All right, thank you, Black Native. Viral, go ahead. Look like Ray well.
All right, I'm gonna make it real quick. Newstoter, professor was talking about that Susan Smith's case. I remember that well, and a lot of brothers was talking about ain't no way in tarnation that a brother gonna carjack a car with 3 little white kids in and driving in the lake. But she's looking to get released recently. There's been something going on with that case. If you can Google it. You'll see what's going on. And the part about petting the dog, I walk this dog. This dog is like 200 something plus pounds. I recommend y'all get a boardable. They very friendly to family members, but anybody that come around, this white man said, "Can I pet her?" I said, "Sure, go ahead." She almost bit his damn hand off. Pet her if you want to. Go right ahead. I'm gonna close out. Thank you for letting me speak, Newstoter.
All right, thank you, Viral. Ray, go ahead. You got it. You can be last speaker for the night.
Be real quick, not even 30 seconds, bro. I just wanted to add in two quick things. Professor got me thinking about the Scottsboro 9 since he was talking about OG Karens. I don't know if y'all ever heard the story of the Scottsboro 9. But long story short, 9 African American men were about to be executed because of the lies of a Karen that claimed that they were raped on the train. Come to find out, the two Karens were prostitutes. Let y'all look into that story. I won't get into it. And last thing I want to add, Professor Susan Smith is eligible for parole in 2024.
All right, thank you, Ray, for bringing that up.
Don't get out. I hope she don't get out. This woman caused a lot of vicious trauma.
She'll probably be getting out, Professor. They'll probably say she served her time or whatever. They'll end up letting her out. Watch and see.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Black Native.
Whatever happened to the white woman that lied on the Central Park 5?
Oh shoot, that is a good question.
Did she ever get charged, or did she ever? What was the end all for her?
I'm gonna be honest, Black Native. I don't know.
They don't get charged, Black Native. She didn't get charged with anything. She went on with her life, just like Susan Smith would probably get out and go on with her. Now, most likely, Susan Smith will never get another white man. But I almost bet you she'll end up with a colored man, because no white man gonna want her. That's what's gonna happen.
No black man should definitely want her either. Unless he's a fool.
Professor, she had something going on with a long distance relationship in prison that ended recently. So it's a lot of weird people out here. They gravitate to some things like that, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alrighty.
Now that is true. That is true. There are some that gravitate towards that. But most likely she'll be a person that either be alone for the rest of her days, or she'll end up probably trying to get with a black man, because no white man gonna have them. Just telling you now. And some desperate black man will take her.
Well, if a black man takes her after this chick was almost responsible for getting who knows how many black men killed in the state of South Carolina back in the 90s, then he deserves whatever happens to him as well. So if he's that stupid that he's gonna actually get with somebody that was willing to almost have black men just killed and lynched back in the 90s, then hey, more power to this Negro. More power to him. Well, guys, I guess on that note, we're going to go ahead. This was definitely a good space, and we definitely had to have this space, the Karen space as well, too. So I had to let you guys know yesterday this is what was going to go down. So definitely for those that didn't get a chance to catch it, any of your followers, go ahead and retweet it out to them. Maybe they'll get a chance to go ahead and listen to the actual space. They can always check it out on YouTube as well. Professor, I'm going to let you get something in real quick. You want to say something before we close it out for the night?
Hey, great space, everybody. Thank you for coming up and for everybody that told their stories and let's try to see what we can do to try to deal with these Karens, man, because they're not going anywhere. These women, by the way, are the majority. That's the interesting thing about it. They are the majority in the country, and when I say majority, I'm talking about white women are the majority in the country, so they want to have control and power anyway. That's why they are Karens. They want to be able to do the same thing they see that their white men are doing. And so that's what a lot of this is all about anyway. They want to have that same kind of control and power that they see with the white men. And but I'm going to land right there, family. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you. This was a good space, guys. Thank you to everybody that came through tonight in the space as well, too. Very, very good space. We'll probably be back Monday night. So everybody have a safe weekend. If we do a space on Sunday, I'll let everybody know, but more than likely we'll probably be back Sunday night. So everybody enjoy your weekend, your family. Keep Goddess FBA in your prayers as well too, as she's going through a hard time, guys. So just try to remember that sister. For everybody that can, when you go ahead and say a little prayer, make sure you go ahead and include that sister in it as well too. So shout out to everybody that was in the space tonight, and thank you as always for supporting the Newstoter platform, both here on Twitter and the actual website as well too. And make sure you guys go to social and go ahead and sign up for that as well too. I'm going to tweet that out. I forgot to put it up in the jumbotron, but definitely, guys, when we start tweeting this stuff out, go ahead and click that link and go ahead and sign up as well too. It doesn't take long, so we definitely got to go ahead and start supporting our own platforms. You see a bunch of people leaving Twitter right now, trying to go to different platforms because you just don't know what's going to happen with Elon Musk. I don't know why he decided to buy Twitter, but that's another story for another time as well too. So shout out to everybody in the space, to the co-hosts, the listeners, the speakers. I appreciate everybody that came up, especially the sisters. I was glad to get your opinion on this topic tonight as well too, on the Karen space. So thank you guys, and we will be back Monday night. So everybody have a good weekend.
Yes, have a good weekend, everybody. Prayers to FBA Goddess. Prayers to FBA Goddess.
Yeah, absolutely. Peace.